Okay, so I hope you guys have notepads ready to rock and roll. She's going to walk us through how she runs her sneak peek start to finish and how that has changed her business. And please ask questions, because she was like, what do you want me to cover? I'm like, just share exactly what you do. But hopefully you guys have questions. And then we can get to those at the end. So I'm going to turn it over to Emily and make you the spotlight.
Great.
Okay, good.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Emily. Like Ashley said, I've been doing this for, oh my gosh, like 3.5 years now. So basically started with Ash, so it's been a while. But
yeah, actually, can you just share your story also? Like how you started with Beachbody and kind of your, like how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, so I started, like I said, about 3.5 years ago. I had graduated college in June, got married in July, and my husband is in the Air Force. He's a pilot in the Air Force. So we were stationed in Texas for our first base, but we didn't move to Texas till that next year. We were expecting to move right away. And so we just kind of had like this 6-month period where neither of us were working. We lived with his parents, newlyweds, and it just was, sorry, new puppy. I'm going to kick her out. Okay, anyway, so we were newlyweds and living with his parents, and we were like, well, what do we do? And I, at the time, was dealing with some big stomach issues, and so I messaged Ashley because I had heard good things about Shakeology. And at this time, like I said, we weren't working. So pulling the trigger on Shakeology was kind of hard for us, but I believed in it so much, and Ashley showed me the value in it so much that I just knew that it could help me. And so at the time, I was just like, well, what do you think about this coaching thing? And I had just finished Insanity before my wedding, and I actually sent her my results. And, she was like, you'd be really good at this. And I obviously had to sit on it for a while. And finally, I remember I was sitting on my bed, well, parents' guest room bed, and like getting ready to press submit. And I was so scared. So I can relate to a lot of people that were so nervous to sign up. My husband is the biggest like saver, and money is not everything to him, but like he's a big saver, and like he doesn't spend money on just anything. And so he really like dissected the business, read the coach policies and procedures before he even signed up. And, he really had to see what it was about. And he was on like, what do you have to lose? And so I signed up that night. Whoa, that was weird. But it was for obviously the discount. And, it was that night, I think maybe a few nights later, that I just shared my Insanity results. And I always like telling people the story because it just shows you that it doesn't happen quick. But when I first started my transformation, I got 33 messages, which sounds crazy. And you think like that night I was like, I'm going to be so successful at this. Like, this is it. Like, this is what I'm doing for a living. And not one person bought from me that night, not one. And I remember feeling, or in that few weeks, I just felt so defeated. And I just was like, this isn't going to work. Like, who are you kidding? But Ashley was like, trust me, just be consistent and they'll come. And I can say today, like, without a doubt, every single one of those 33 people have come to me since. And the only reason, a big reason, is the fact that I stayed consistent. If I would have just given up after that first few months, then I would have missed out, on all those people, obviously. And so that's why we really preach to you to be consistent and show up even when you're not getting the likes or the comments or the messages or getting all these no's, because they're going to come to you. Actually, this girl just joined my last boot camp. So what's going on right now, we're in the second week. And I was curious because I know she was one of the first people that messaged me. And I went back in our messages, and she first messaged me back in like 2014. And we had messaged back and forth probably like, I'm not kidding, like 8 times. And to me, and like how many times she's asked about joining my boot camp, to me that was amazing, because she actually sent me a message the first week into our boot camp and was like, thank you for not giving up on me. And I like get emotional thinking about that, because me quitting or giving up after a few months is me giving up on her. And she thanked me for all the times I checked in with her, even though she didn't reply back to me, following up with her, inviting her to a new boot camp. She thanked me for that. And she's lost 9 pounds in the first 7 days. So I never get upset when someone says no, because I know they're going to come back, and I don't want them to join until they're ready. And so anyways, that kind of, I got sidetracked a little bit, but we moved to Texas, and there was zero opportunity for me. We had a Walmart for about 3 hours. That was it. And so I was like, well, I have to make this work. And I kind of tried the first year. Ashley will tell you that I said that I was trying, but I wasn't trying as hard. I did the minimum, which is Success Club. And then, before we moved here to Louisiana, I told myself that I didn't want to have to get a job when I moved here, because we lived in Texas for 2 years. So my last year in Texas, I said to myself, when you move to Louisiana, unless you kick things up a notch, you're going to have to get a job. And so the last year in Texas, I worked harder, and my goal was to move here to make enough income and I wouldn't have to get a job. And I'm in Louisiana now doing this full time, and my business is better than it ever has been. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and my story. This is the best thing I've ever done in my whole life. Like, the best decision. I try to think about where my life would be if I wouldn't have said yes to Ashley, and thinking about how she invited me. And if you guys think about it, we are so afraid to invite people. And if Ashley would have never invited me, I wouldn't be doing this right now. So do not be afraid, because you just never know when someone is gonna join you, even at some point, like maybe not right away, but maybe in a few months. And yes, Ashley, you did have to invite me a few times. I remember. Actually, a few months ago, I went back and read our first messages, because sometimes you just need that reminder of like what it took for you to get started. Yes. Okay. So Ashley wanted me on here, and if you guys have questions, go ahead and ask. But last month was actually for me a record-breaking month for myself and my business. Which we all got that email. If you've been a coach for a couple of years, that was our year in review. And that came at a perfect time, because so many crazy things happened. And just to kind of give you a backstory, my max Success Club points was 42. And that was like back in 2015 when Carl did this competition, and he sent us all $100 for doing so well. And then all of last year, just to put this in perspective, I signed, I think I said 29 coaches total for 2016. And just this last month, I signed 19, I believe. So I'm going to tell you how I did that. I know it can be like, so, I don't know, like everyone's like, how are you doing it? And what's the secret? And really, it's just, I switched up a few things in my business and my sneak peek, and it's really paying off. So get your notepads ready. The first thing is do a sneak peek, right? This I texted Ashley about, because it blew my mind thinking about if I wouldn't have done a sneak peek this month, I would actually have 16 of those people, because I signed 3 before the sneak peek. I would not have 16 of these girls that joined me if I wouldn't have just threw together a sneak peek, because, we all get so busy and we think we don't have time to run these groups. And I actually try to do one every other month. And so anyways, I'm just really glad I did, because I wouldn't have had these people. And to kind of give you an idea how July went for me, I went to Summit, and I was at 0 at Summit, Success Club points, and 0 coaches, obviously. And I didn't get my first Success Club point till the 18th, I'm pretty sure. So this all happened in the last part of the month. And so and I always tried the Success Club at the 5th. So I was really preaching to my team today, like, do not give up when it's like end of the month. Like, I know so many of us can like kind of let the gas off a little bit, because, it's over. We think it's over. Yeah. And then I had SC0 on the 18th, and then I ended with like 52 or 54 points. So that was just me like hustling my face off while I was at Summit. I was sending invites, and then it all paid off in the end of the month, plus the sneak peek. So as far as the sneak peek goes, I used to run 3-day sneak peeks because I thought 5 days was just too long, and they have never been this successful. So I would definitely suggest start with 5 days, and it just gives you more time. I feel like the people in the groups don't feel as rushed and like to make a decision. And it's just like, it's kind of chill. And so I start talking about it the Wednesday or Thursday before. So it starts on a Monday, and I start talking about it the Wednesday or Thursday before. And I always put up a post. I don't want you to put up like just some word swag post that says Coach Sneak Peek. Like, you have to have an eye-catching image. What I've used the last few times is photos from our trips that we've gone on. Oh, does everyone have audio? Yeah, I'm guessing. And so I start posting about it like on Wednesday, sometimes Thursday if I've lost track of time. And I always put in my calendar too. So you need, because it will sneak up on you. And then I post like a little like picture from Punta Cana, like, welcome to my sneak peek. And this is what I've done too that has gotten so many more people in my sneak peek and my clean eating groups is I post the link to the group in the comments. So I don't have them message me or comment below, which is like the more comments and likes we get, we know it doesn't mean our ego. But for this, like some people are afraid to comment and say that they're interested. So I just put the link and the people just like start piling up, like because they don't have to say anything to you to get in the group. It's less work for them and they don't have to let anyone know they're interested. They're just a fly on the wall. So always like post the link in the comment. And so I say like sneak peek into coaching, like learn what I do as a coach, like how I go on free trips, blah, blah, blah. You don't have like no obligation, just see what I do. And the link in the comment to the group, the link to the group is in the comments. And I think this last one, I don't know the exact number, but it was maybe 190 people or something that were in there. So it's pretty good. And that was not me like having to put up a ton of posts. And so anyways, people will start filing in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I start posting around Saturday or Sunday. And the first post I did this time was a do me a favor post, because I found last time that I was doing the sneak peek and then at the end of the 5 days, people already had a coach or they were a coach or working with Lori Stewart or whatever. And it was really defeating because I'm like, I just put all this work in, and it might sound like kind of blunt, but you know, this is a business. We have to take care of our teams and ourselves. So I just said like, do me a favor. Like this is a fit and fancy team, like sneak peek. And we really hope that you're willing to join our teams afterwards. And if you're working with a coach and have questions, feel free to message me. But, you know, and I don't really know if I lost anyone, but I just wanted to let people know because it was really defeating. And I don't want you guys to run into that too. But I mean, I still had one person message me afterwards and say that she signed with someone else, which is whatever. So the next day I post, and I got this idea from Ashley. I start posting my like pictures from like Punta Cana and Cancun, all the Success Club trips, and as well as Summit, and then like the pictures with me as celebrity trainers and coaches and all that, and just to give them an idea so they can look and see what we do. So it's not all business right off the bat. It's like, here's some fun that we do, and I don't know, it's just kind of gets the ball rolling. And then the next day, so let me see, I wrote it down. I can't remember. I think it's Monday or Tuesday. I tell them to comment below who invited them to this group and where they're from. And the reason is because I have my coaches in there, which is totally fine, but people can get lost. And then you kind of know who the serious people are because they're willing to comment and say, you know, who invited them and where they're from. And what I do when they say, Emily invited me, I go and add them as a friend. Because I don't know if you guys know, but if you message someone from your personal page, it goes to their other folder unless you're friends with them or have a ton of mutual friends. And I found that a problem last time. I would go message everyone at the end and I wasn't friends with them, or I just added them and no one saw my messages. Like it was like a freaking list of people that no one saw my messages because it went to their other folder. So I did this midweek, I'm pretty sure, and I would go and add them right away as soon as they said that I invited them. And so anyway, so that was probably Tuesday or Wednesday. But as far as day one goes, I would share my story about how Beachbody has changed my life. And before I even went live in the page, I would do a post about how Beachbody has saved me. And because we all know, and we all have a story, how, you know, Beachbody has been the light in the dark time in our lives. I mean, if you've been doing this while, everyone has that. And so I shared my story about how Beachbody has saved me. And then I had my coaches go in there on the comments and do it as well. So they could share like their stories, how Beachbody has helped them. And then later that night, I would go live and share my story, just how I got started, kind of like I did with you guys at the beginning of this. And then So the thing about going live too, I went live every day, the Monday through Friday. And my past sneak peeks, I would kind of just like do it when I felt like it, like whenever I had time. But I've made it a point to do it at the same time every night this time. And I did it at 8 p.m. Central Time. And the reason is because that's 9 o'clock Eastern Time and 6 o'clock Pacific Time. And to me, that's like a time that everyone is probably on their phones because they're off work. And so 8 o'clock, I could probably even do it later. I think there were some days I maybe do like 8:20, but I would really try to stick to that that time, because otherwise people don't know. And it doesn't seem like it's that serious when you're kind of just like everywhere, in my opinion. So having a set time, I felt like was very helpful. So day one was my story. I would share something in the morning about it and then a live video that night. I don't know if I should questions first. No, okay, I'll go through this. And then day two, I talked about objections. So I would do a post saying like, I know you guys all have like objections. And I would ask like, what is one thing holding you back from this? And I'd have people comment. And that helped me because then when I went live that night, I knew what they were already thinking. And I was talking to my people, right? I wasn't just assuming what their objections were. I heard them. So then I would go live that night again at 8 o'clock. And then day three, this is something that I've done. This is completely different. I haven't seen any other coaches do this because I get so many people, and I'm sure you guys are the same way, that are like, I have to talk to my husband, or I got to talk to my fiance first. My boyfriend thinks it's a scam, whatever. And so I actually had my husband go live in the page, and he's not, usually we do it together, but he was in Alaska. He still is. And so I had him go live from Alaska, 8 o'clock our time. And he just went live about how he was skeptical and his objection. I mean, his, what he was not, the reason he didn't want me to join, because he didn't. He thought it was a scam. He thought it was a pyramid scheme. And then how he's been proven wrong. And so I think seeing it from a husband's point of view, it's just totally different, because we could talk about it all day because, we're trying to recruit, we're trying to success club, but like seeing a spouse so supportive and like helpful was just, I think it helped a lot of people. I had people waiting for Wednesday so they could see that call. And to me, that just was like, maybe I would have joined sooner if I would have known that like Ashley's husband was so supportive of her. I don't know. So I think that was so beneficial. And I always tell people like, I would not be successful as I am at this if it weren't for my husband being supportive. And like, it's to the point where by the 5th of the month, he's like, did you hit Success Club? And I was telling my coach, my team today, that I was talking to my husband about the end of the month and how well it went. And he was like, that's so crazy. Cause like, mid-month we were stressed, and I thought it was funny because he said we were stressed because he's in this with me, and even though he's so busy and has his own life, he supports it. And I think it's really important to have someone like that. So showing that to people that are interested, I think, was a game changer for sure. And then day 4, I talked about income. So I kind of used Ashley's outline and changed it up a little bit, but day 4 was income. And I really try to build up the anticipation for this. So I'll talk about it all week. Like, don't forget, Thursday, we're going to share income. And then, so that morning I do post just saying like, are you guys excited kind of thing? And then you'll get a lot of people coming out of the woodwork that like you didn't hear from before. And then that night I would do a graphic of, midday I would do a graphic of my progression of income from when I started to now. And it's pretty crazy to look at. If you've even only been doing this for a couple years, you should do that for yourself. And then I would post that, and then at night I'd go live and answer everyone's questions, talk about how you make money, and what I was doing at the beginning to make the money I was and what I'm doing now. And that kind of helped people understand like a hobby coach or just a discount coach and a full-time coach, to look at the incomes and see what you could earn. So that was day 4. And then and then day 5. Oh, and then along with like income, something I did different, I don't know, it was just like something I mentioned, and I kind of, a lot of people bring it up when they message me about joining. I just kind of went on a rant one night when I was live talking about how this isn't about the money to me as much as it's about helping people. Because so many people are so like, well, what if like, I don't make that much money right away, or what if, and I'm like, just stop what you're doing right now and think about why you're joining. Please do not join my team unless you're wanting to help people. And I kind of got emotional in the live video, and I think that worked out. in my benefit, because I had so many people message me afterwards say, I'm ready to help people. And I never had that happen before. It was like, oh, I'm ready to coach. I'm ready to make money. But like hearing people say, I'm ready to help people. There's so many people out there that need my help was just really cool to hear. Because I'm like, oh, like, you know, it's a good reminder for all of us that it's about helping people and not trying to see how much money we can make us, you know, how quick. So really emphasizing helping, I think did a lot. And then day 5 was like a Q&A, but I actually did a Q&A anytime they asked. So it would be, I think I did one maybe Thursday through Sunday. Like they would be like, I still have all these questions. And then I would post in the page like, hey, do you want to do a Q&A tonight? And they're like, yeah. And then I would hop on and do Q&A. Like I had nothing else to do. What's like answering a few questions. I think I was on for 15 minutes. And so I would go live anytime they asked me to and answer questions. So, and I even did that on a Saturday. I had friends over and I left and I went into my bedroom and went live for them. And so I think just like sacrificing the little things here and there, for 5, 6, 7 days is very helpful. Because you got to remember when you first started, you probably had so many questions, right? And so I just really had to remember that, like I had just as many questions. Let's see. I think, something else I did midweek, once I added people to, like, after I saw that they said where they're from and who invited them, I added the people that said I invited them or they saw my post. I would go message them on Wednesday and I would say, hey, like, just wanted to check in with you personally. I know it can be overwhelming with all this information. I just want to make sure I'm covering the questions that you have. And that was like, I got a message return rate faster than, more than I do at the last day, because I think it's just like took them by surprise, knowing that I wasn't just going to talk to them on the last day. I was actually wanting to know if there's anything else they wanted me to cover personally. And I really did. I wasn't just doing that to, start a conversation. I really wanted to know if I was missing out on something, because every time I do a sneak peek, it's a learning experience for me. I really, I feel like we think we know what they want, but no one knows what they want more than themselves. And so doing that midweek was awesome, because then on Friday, they would already message me or I would message them and just be like, hey, so what'd you think or whatever. And I feel like it's kind of a no-brainer at the end to message everyone. So I did that and just said, no pressure. Just want to see if you had any other questions, what you thought. And then if they're like, it was great. And sometimes I'll ask for their feedback if they think there's anything that could have been done different. And so basically from Friday through Sunday, I would post like our registration is open, and I got a lot of people that had signed up comment, and said they'd registered, which is awesome. And then I also start my mentorship. I started on Monday, so that kind of helped too with the urgency, just because people are like, I gotta get signed up because she has this mentorship group coming up on Monday, and that way you can get everyone plugged in at the same time, same day. I think I had one person sign up yesterday that wanted in there, so it wasn't like a ton of people. It was nice because everyone was at once. And now I'll take all those people from the mentorship and put them in a boot camp as soon as this is over. So, okay, that's all I had in my notes. So I guess I can answer some questions, unless Ashley, you had something. Do you want me just to?
We can go to those questions too.
Okay.
I had a couple questions, but
yeah.
Let me see. Some notes. So you're going live because you said that they're like anticipating that when Dylan goes live video. So yeah. But you're just talking about what's coming. You're like on your live videos telling them what they can expect. So then that's when they know that that's coming.
Yeah. Or I'll do just like a word swag post like midday and be like, hey, like my husband's going to go live. Do you guys have questions for him?
Okay.
So I can get like a list of questions. Or I said, if you want to message me personally questions. And actually, I think I gave him like 10 questions, which was helpful for him, Yeah.
Answer. And then the other question that I wrote down was your do me a favor post that you put up on Saturday or Sunday. What do you ask them? Like, what do you say on that? If do you say if you're working with another coach to leave, or what do you say?
I can read it to you. I just say like, I think it's just probably better if I read it, Because I didn't sound like mean. I like read it to my husband first. I'm like, this doesn't sound mean, does it? Because I never want to come across like that, but I also want them to know like we put a lot of work into these. Mm-hmm. So I said, so excited to get this party started on Monday. Be ready for lots of info and inspiration. In the meantime, if you could do me a favor, if you are already a coach or actively working with a coach, please know that this group is for those looking to become a coach and join our family. Everyone is welcome, but I encourage you to reach out to your coach for information or help if that's what you came here looking for. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me a message. I'm always willing to point you in the right direction, but I like to keep these private groups for those who are new to Beachbody and looking to join Team Fin Fancy. Thank you for understanding. I can hardly wait till Monday.
Oh, that's good.
And then it was just like a little like bright pink, so they would stop them. Yeah. So. Because like I said last time, it was really like defeating. There's so many people already working with other coaches, or there were new coaches just looking for information, and it was like, okay.
So what was this was the first time that you ran a group like this. So what was different this time from the last one? Was it going live? Was it going live at the same time? Was it opening up the link to everybody? Was it all of these things?
Yeah, it's probably like making it 5 days over 3. I've always done 3, so I definitely recommend doing 5 days. Having a set time for live instead of just doing it randomly made a difference, I believe. And checking in with the people midweek. A lot of those people joined. And then checking in with them the last day, like obviously. But like sending those friend requests as soon as I knew that they came because of me was helpful, because that gave them 3 days to accept my friend request or 2 days to accept my friend request. That way my message wouldn't go to their other folder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. If anyone wants to unmute themselves, otherwise, I think that's all my questions. Otherwise, you guys we can just go down the chat. But I just wanted to address, and then Emily, if you have anything to say about this. So the way that Emily outlines it, and this is how I run my sneak peeks as well, is it does seem like it would be something that would be for coaches who are not brand new. I will say that you don't have to have posts. You don't have to have photos you don't have to have gone on any trips to have a great experience with Beachbody. You don't have to have your husband go live in a group if he hasn't come around yet or if he's not supportive. You don't have to have like a huge income progression. If you're brand new, you could run a sneak peek that's maybe 3 days. And just cover kind of your experience with it. And the reason that I think it would be cool, because I will tell you, when I first ran a sneak peek, I didn't feel ready. Emily, I don't know about you. Did you feel ready when you first ran a sneak peek?
I was so scared. It took so much from me. Yeah, I think that was like just even 6 months ago.
And I don't know if you did the same thing, but when I finally got brave enough to run a sneak peek, I did not go live in them. I recorded videos and then I would like upload those same videos, and the return on investment on that sucks. So Did you do the same thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have to go live.
Yeah, you have to go live. And I would say, for those of you that are new, if for no other reason, this is a great way to get practice, because the more you run these groups, or the more you get comfortable talking about your story, about Beachbody, about what we offer, stuff like that. And you could run your sneak peek less of sneak peek into coaching and kind of a merge of sneak peek into coaching and a challenge group. So you can talk about, like, one day it could be focused on, because I do one day talking about what we do as coaches. I think I do that on the day that you have Dylan talk, where I share our boot camp. So you can, if you're a brand new coach, you could make that day about why you love the community and what they get when they join you. Not only do they get the, business side, but they also get this group that will be supportive and help them out. So you can talk about the boot camp there. So I feel like, and you might suck. I certainly sucked in the beginning. Emily probably sucked in the beginning. Like every top coach out there sucked in the beginning. But you have to, I was on the phone with someone the other day, and she has a goal of going diamond. And she said, aside from like being consistent and hitting Success Club, signing coaches, what do I need to do? And I was like, mindset. You need to act like a leader before you're ready to lead. Like you have to host team calls. You have to start a team page. You've got to run sneak peeks. Like none of us ever felt ready, and you'll never feel ready until you do it. And you'll suck in the beginning, and that's fine too. But this is good rehearsal that as your business grows and as your following grows, your groups will get bigger as you get better. So then when you have a group, like Emily said, she had 190 or whatever people in there, she can have a huge return on investment, like have a huge conversion rate on that. because she's ran groups leading up to this and is more familiar with her story and is more like comfortable talking about things. So that's what I would say. If you're brand new, you don't have to have all the bells and whistles. This is just layers to it. But that doesn't give you an excuse to say, well, then I can't run this yet, because you can absolutely run it. And you can even just, I know there's coaches out there who do 1 day sneak peeks, and they just like go like create an event page and make the page public and just use it as practice for talking about your story and what Beachbody has done for you and stuff. So that, I just saw that question came up a few times. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that, Em, but.
Well, and like I started, before I even did sneak peeks, I would do Zoom calls like this. Granted, I only got like 10 people or so on there, which was great for a video call, but that just started me somewhere, and it got me like confident talking in front of people and about my story. And then, you know, like that was helpful. So even if you have to start like, hey, like we're going to have a live backstage into coaching like at 8:00 on Wednesday, whatever. And even you'll get 3 people on there. Like I actually had a very good success rate of people signing up from those videos. Almost every time, probably 80% of them would sign up from the video. So if you have to start somewhere, that's totally fine. Oh, and then something I just remembered, on objection days, I would talk a lot about reasons I didn't want to sign up. Like, is it a pyramid scheme? So to explain that, because we all know that people are thinking about that. I don't have time, because I know someone asked if I talk about the day in life of a coach. That's kind of where I plug that in. Like, I don't have time, it's a pyramid scheme, and do you have to be in perfect shape or whatever? So just stuff like that. I mean, nothing crazy. But like, think about why you didn't want to sign up at first. What were your hesitations? Use that, because that's someone else is probably thinking the same thing. But cost. Oh, that's something I forgot to mention. On like, I think the last day, or the last day, so Friday, I actually share in the group. This is something different I've done, Ashley, from that wasn't in your group. I share what package they sign up with. So I like put basically what I would send someone when they're ready to order. I put it in there. I'm like, so great. Like, I'm so excited. So many of you are signing up right now. Just so you know, like, this is what you get with the package. And I say like the Beachbody on Demand, every single workout, I explain it, your Shakeology, your coach starter kit, you know, the containers, everything. And I write that all out so they can see like a visual of what's actually, you know, they're going to get. And I didn't have one person tell me that was too much money. Not one person when they messaged me. And I think that was crazy. So I'm like, I don't know if maybe putting it out there for them to see and kind of like digest was helpful. Maybe they saw the value in the group, and then, I get all of that. Plus like, you know, the coaching, like, I don't know. It just, like I said, I didn't have one person say that was too much money.
Plus, for those of you who are worried, because I would say one of the number one objections that I hear once you're a coach is, I'm afraid of coming across salesy. There's literally no way that people can't hear your heart in these sneak peeks. When you go live on video, there's no way that they can't see. And even if it's just like Emily said, that's how I started too, actually, was doing those like 1 hour webinar things. People like, video just does something more than text. So if you feel like you're being salesy, go live and do a video, because then people can hear your heart. They can see. And like the fact that Emily talked about how Beachbody saved her, then her husband came in and talked about it. Then she said, those of you that are too focused on money, I'm not going to like dive into this. This is about helping people, getting emotional about that. Like that clearly, if you're in that group, you're not thinking this girl's in it to take my money. I'm just going to be a number to her. There's more to that. So for those of you who are coaches on this call, and I would say there's a lot of you, because it's a insecurity that a lot of new coaches have, that you feel like you're going to be salesy. I always say, people purchase from me, I don't sell anything, you know? And so I think if you can do videos and share authentically, then that just becomes a moot point, because you're not selling anything. So anyway, I don't remember why I said that, but
yeah. You were talking about live videos, and like, I agree. It's so scary to go live at first, but I actually find it almost, I don't know if Ashley, you feel this way. I find it easier to go live than it is to like record a video now, because I feel like when you record a video, it's like the stress of it having to be perfect. But when you go live, you can make mistakes and people aren't going to remember, like you're having a conversation with them. Mm-hmm. So I actually would prefer to go live over recording a video any day.
Me too. And it makes me very uncomfortable to go back now and watch the videos that I made when I first started. Like, it just is like, oh, like, how did anybody join my team or want to be a part of this? Like, I feel uncomfortable just watching, because I can see how insecure I was, and I have like this script in my mind, these bullet points, and it's just so, it takes so much pressure off of them too, to see like, oh, I don't have to be rehearsed, I don't have to be perfect, I don't have to know everything, I can stumble and whatever. It just like makes you be a human being.
Yeah, exactly. And like people are asking questions as you go, and it kind of just like makes it chill, like not anything crazy, because you're just having conversations with them. But
so Kayla asked when you began offering sneak peeks. Like, when did you start doing, you said 6 months ago?
Probably not. I want to say like I've probably done, maybe 6, because I think I've done 3, and I do them every other month.
And then when did you start doing the webinar stuff? Like the 1 hour?
My second year.
Okay.
Maybe my first year, but I was doing with my success partner, so it kind of took off the pressure.
Yes. And that's how I started too. But also, I don't think sneak peeks were a thing, or these webinars were a thing in the Beachbody world until about that time. So it's not like we waited, because I did the same thing. I probably waited 2 years, right, to do it. And it wasn't because I was like not ready, because I you guys have heard, like, and Emily's very coachable too. When I tell her to do something, she does it. And when people tell me to do things, I do it. It just wasn't around. So it wasn't, so we're not giving, because we waited 2 years, does not mean you have an excuse to wait 2 years, because this exists now, and it didn't exist when we started.
I almost want to say it was the year before last at Summit, or maybe 2 years ago, that they like gave us the idea of a sneak peek, and we all were like, what? Like, why have we thought of this? Like, it was not that long ago. This is still fairly new. And you also have to think, like, I don't see a ton of coaches doing this all the time. Like, especially, I know Ashley does one almost every month. I do one every other month. Like, I don't see that often. So you have to, in order to like, get people's attention, you have to do something different. All of these people signed up with me. There's a few that were like, oh, I had a coach 3 years ago or 2 years ago when I wanted to coach, but I just didn't know enough. I just did it for them, And so you have to do something for these people that no one else is doing. Like, answer questions.
Also, I see some people saying they would feel weird about doing a sneak peek if you're not coaching a lot of people. Another thing you could do is just go live on your page and talk, and instead of it being like a sneak peek, have it be your story, and it's like how you got started with Beachbody, why you love it, and why you want to share. And then you could end that with, if you want to join me, here's what it is. And again, you might not have a ton of people watching, you might not have a huge conversion on that, because I love that you told that story in the beginning, that she had 33 messages that night after her transformation and nobody enrolled. So you will have people in the beginning that are very interested in what you have to say, especially if you have a transformation, that are not going to join you because they don't trust you yet. They just don't trust you, that you're going to be there, that you're going to be able to help them, that you're going to stay consistent. So that's another thing I would say, go live and just like suck it up. It's totally fine to be shitty at this in the beginning.
Yeah. Like Ashley said, she looks back and she like cringes, and I do the same thing. I look back at my first post and I'm like, what were you thinking? But like, if I would have given up, then I would not be where I am right now, So it takes time. Like, as much as like the money and the coaches aren't going to come overnight, like either is like learning how to post and, coming up with good like content. It takes time. You can't rush it.
And Tracy commented and said, I can't even stand how much more confident Em is these days. Yeah, like you're very different. Like, this is the most comfortable I've seen you on video, because you and I don't video that much. I haven't had you do a call in a while, but like there's so much growth, and it's because of all the times that you did it when you were uncomfortable.
Yeah, and like a lot of people ask me in my sneak peek, I'm so shy, I'm such an introvert. Like, you guys, I am the biggest introvert. I would love to be at home all day and never talk to people. And like, I also just I was so shy. Like, Ashley remember her and I did Miss Oregon together, and I was probably the shyest person there. And so you got to get out of that shell, and you just got to like trust and believe like that you can do it, and you have an awesome leader. Like, you don't need anything else. You guys, there's like no secret. You have what I have. Ashley, she helps us so much. And like what I've told a lot of the coaches and my coaches is, you guys have stuff, especially if you're new, that we didn't have when we started. We didn't have all these YouTube videos from top coaches or these trainings. there's so much out there that we did not have. I think it took me like 6 months to hit Emerald, and like now I have coaches hitting it in 2 weeks because of the, trainings that we have for you guys. So use it. Yeah. Suck it up and be shitty at this. Yes. And just don't overthink it. Ashley's had to tell me that so many times because I'm a perfectionist, so I'd overthink it and think of what could go wrong and like how I can make it better. And she's always just tells me, just post it. Like, shut up and just post it. Just shut up and just do a sneak peek next week, like stop coming with excuses and reasons why you can't do it. And then just pick a date and do it.
And like the amazing thing about this business, there's like a million, but where I want to go with this is that every time, like the cool part of getting uncomfortable in this business is there is a reward on the other side. Like, yes, you might look silly and people might judge you. So what? You're like, you are expanding who you are as a person. You're growing yourself. You're growing your comfort zone. And like living without fear of judgment, and that going live means that you have to be willing to let people judge you and be okay with it. And it's hard at first, and it gets easier and easier. And then it's like freedom of like, I can say, and now, like I love when people are like, oh, you're so honest on your page. And I'm like, it's addictive because people respond to that. They respond to you being human and not perfect. And now it's like, I can't believe I was in this box for so long and so afraid of doing certain things and acting a certain way and letting people like dictate how I was acting because I was living so small, when all that fear had me living a less significant life. Like it wasn't like you face your fear. It's not going to be for you guys that you face your fear and things get harder or things get suckier or whatever. Like it's only going to get better. And that's the amazing thing about doing this. Like you go through the hard stuff, but it only is going to get better on the other side. Like you're like 100%, that's 100% guarantee. If that was a check, you could cash it. Like for sure.
Yeah. And what Ashley said about like posting the hard stuff, this was something that a lot of people said in my last sneak peek. I had so many people comment and message me that signed up that were like, I've been looking for a coach that's like real and honest. And a few of them had followed you too, Ashley. They're like, you and Ashley are just so real with your posts that like, that's what I like. I don't want to, if I become a coach, I don't want to like act like I work out every day and have a perfect diet and never like have a bad day, because that's not me. And I probably had, if I had to guess, 10 people thank me for being real and honest. And it's like, actually, it's addicting now. Like I don't even think twice about posting honest, raw things anymore, because that's what people like relate to, and I don't know, they just love it.
Like it strokes your ego. What kept you, like it really does, what is holding you back in the beginning that you're so afraid of is now the thing that like makes you feel the best. And it's just like being who you are. It's wild.
Yep. It's true. And like so many coaches out there try to pretend like they're perfect and they get through their workout without stopping and they only eat vegetables. Like that's not us. Don't pretend that it's us. Like I tell people all the time that like a lot of my followers, they know me for loving Chick-fil-A, and I get sent every Chick-fil-A coupon there ever was. Like that's funny to me because I'm supposed to be like this fitness person, but that also shows them that I'm real. Like I'm not pretending, and they can join me because they are real as well. Human.
Yes. As a new coach, how is the best way to share about income? I know it's not the people still want to know. Should we share what we have done so far and then share what one of the leaders have? What do you think about that, Emily?
I've had some of my new coaches share mine, and I'll join their sneak peeks as well if they need me to, and like go live if they want, and then they share mine just so they can see like what can happen over a few years. And then if they want, they can share what's happened to them in a month, because even if you think about it, even if you're making $100 a month and then you're making $100 a week, that still does something for someone. Like that's still, $100 a week is still a car payment for someone. $100 a month is groceries for someone. So don't underestimate like a small paycheck. And I mean, someone will relate to it somehow. So if you have, when your coach is making more maybe in there as well, and then you like, someone's going to relate to either one. Like you're a month, like they're not expecting you to make 6 figures.
Yeah. And I see now in the time hop some of the things that I used to post in the beginning. And it was just like, I think just today or yesterday, I posted about being able to cover my cell phone bill. And that was like, you know, that was a big deal for someone that's living paycheck to paycheck. To be able to cover a cell phone bill is a huge deal. And I always go back to, I've told this story a bunch of times, but Steph Davies, one of her top coaches now, I think it's Jamie Shepard maybe, but maybe it's not her, but one of her top coaches joined her, found her on Instagram. Well, must not be Jamie. Anyway, it doesn't matter who it is, just that she found her, or she decided to join her because Steph posted that she was able to buy her Paychex Beachbody enabled her to buy organic produce over regular. Like, and that's dollars. That's not like hundreds. That's not thousands. That's a few dollar difference at the grocery store. But there are so many, and that fits Steph's brand. That wouldn't really fit my brand because I'm not super into like health and no pesticides. Like, that's not part of my vibe really. There are things I buy organic, sure. But Steph's kind of hippie. So that's perfect for her because the people that are watching her want to buy organic produce for their kids because they, you know, feel strongly about it and can't afford it. So like, but that's just such a small thing. And those of you that are moms, diapers are a super big expense because they go through them like crazy. So posting about how that has helped. And I've seen lots of top coaches, instead of sharing actual numbers, just sharing what it's been able to help. So if, you know, the first month is you just got your products paid for. The second month, because that's always the goal, right? If you hit Success Club, at least you got your initial investment and your products paid for. And then the second month is, or the third month or whatever is, you were able to buy groceries for a week, or you were able to do date night, like one dinner out, or buy a new pair of shoes. Like, it just, whatever. It doesn't matter really what it is, because there are people out there that can't afford to do anything extra. And so the fact that we like get paid to work to like get healthy, the people that want to get healthy, they want to lose weight, they want to do this stuff, and they're getting paid to do it. You're not adding anything extra, like extra into their day, but they're getting paid for it.
Yeah, that's actually what I do in my mentorship groups now. Instead of saying, how much money do you want to make and by when? I say, what do you want to pay for in your life? Because like Asha said, I know for me, my first year, I paid for our car payment, I think. And then the second year, something else like rent. And then now I pay our mortgage in a week, you know? So it's like putting an actual item with something is helpful. For me, it's more motivating than an actual number personally. Like being able to, you know, like it was my goal when we bought our house to be able to pay for my mortgage, like so I could just like go and pay our first bill. And so I think having that behind it, like an item behind it, is really helpful. So I ask all my new coaches to tell me what they want as far as an item goes.
And then there's a question about the app you use. I don't know if you answered that, but that's Word Swag, right?
Yeah, it's like $5, but I use it for everything, so it's worth every penny.
Sherry asked how you keep coaches signed under you from branching out and leaving your group. So you're actually not allowed to switch coaches. As a customer, you can, but if you're a coach, the only way to switch to another coach or another team is by canceling your coach membership and waiting 6 months. So as like Emily is obviously growing her own team and stuff, but she's still always going to be my coach, or I will kill you if you leave me.
I might quit.
But so you'll each grow your own teams, but you'll still always be in this same family and still always have the same upline.
Yep.
I don't know what you mean. Sherry said you get the incentive of signing on once, then that's it, right? That's why you need 3 new a month. Yeah, so you get, I think what you mean is you get Success Club points from people when they enroll. So you only get 2 Success Club points max per person. And the reason that it didn't used to be that way, but they switched it because they want us helping new people all the time. They don't want us getting people just buying new challenge packs every month, because then you're not growing your business. You're not helping more people. So that's why you want to help 3 new people a month. Okay, Brianne, you have a question about cost or something? You want to unmute yourself and ask?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
So a lot of you guys know that I brought my husband to Summit this year, and it totally was a game changer for him. He is like Sorry. Now my dog's going to start barking.
That's hard.
Sorry. He's been good the whole call, and then now he starts barking. So he is like totally on board with the business now. He's doing shift shop with me. He is drinking Shakeology. He's all into it. And just earlier today, I was making my shake after our workout, and he made a comment of, what are some of the issues you're having with the people you're talking to right now? And I said, well, a lot of it is cost. And I said, everybody thinks it's expensive. And he said, well, it is expensive. And I turned around and I said, okay, we have the coach discount. We pay under $100 a month for these shakes. And he knows the value that are in the shakes. He knows how nutritious they are. He knows how good they are for us and everything like that. I said, that balances out to about $3 and change per shake. I said, how is that expensive? I said, it's not expensive. And he said, you know what? It's not. Like, it was just like right there in that moment. When he thinks about $100 a month, he's like, oh, that's expensive. And then when I say, no, it's like $3 and change per shake. And he's like, oh, wait, no, that's not expensive. Like, it's just how it has to click in somebody's brain. And even though he already loved them, he still was thinking they were expensive. And then once I said that, it's like, he was like, oh, wait, that's not bad at all. So
yeah, because I don't know if there was a question or if that was the comment that you wanted to share with people, right?
Yeah.
So that is what everyone is thinking. And I think that they're also, and he was probably comparing it to other shakes that are out there. So not only is it more expensive, like a chunk at the beginning, but you're also comparing it to other protein shakes that are out there. So compared to those, yes, it's expensive, but we can't compare Shakeology to any, like, we know we can't compare Shakeology to any of those things because it's not a protein shake. It's not Slim Fast. It's not like any of those things. But that's why I say you get 30 meals with it. Because, like, if you were to tell people, okay, you're going to get, a meal, it's edible food, whatever, and it's, over 70 superfoods, and it's the equivalent of eating 5 plates of salads nutritionally. It has all your but it was food that they could eat. They would be like, what the heck? It's $3? That's crazy. Like, this can't be real food then, right? But I think it's because it's a shake, and we have in our mind, like, what shakes maybe should cost or something. But your belief in it is what was able to convince him to have belief in it too. And then that's you're going to be able to convince other people about that too. Like, just having unwavering belief in Shakeology, because really I feel like Shakeology is underpriced for now that I know what they do to source it and process it and how much of it they actually throw away because they find out that some ingredient was, handled poorly or it didn't match. Like, we have super freaking high standards for our shake, and they take it, like, it blows me away how much money they have walked away from by reformulating a shake when they found there was a healthier way to do it, or by getting rid of some whole batch because it didn't pass their super rigorous tests. Like, there is massive integrity behind this product. And I'm blown away, actually, that it's Coach is $97. Like, it's crazy.
Right. Well, and then even like, you can't go to McDonald's and buy a milkshake for more than a few cents less than what one serving of Shakeology costs. And that's an ice cream milkshake that has 0 nutrients, and it's almost the same price as your Shakeology. And look at what you're getting, and it almost tastes the same in my book. So, I mean, it's just a no-brainer for me.
Yes, for sure. And those of you that are getting cost objections, like Remel and me are still getting cost objections, I honestly think cost objections are in your head. So if you are thinking that people are valid in that, or if you have any sort of insecurity about the cost of our shakes, even if your words say something else, they can feel it. And when you guys go, like, I would recommend when you go live, and you need to have belief in what it is that you're talking about, because if you come off as insecure or unsure, they're definitely not going to invest $160 with someone who isn't sure of themselves or the product that they're working with. So work on that really hard, on having belief in what we do and the products that we offer. And if you don't have belief in it yet, you need to listen to the podcast on Shakeology. You need to Google, you need to do some mad research on it, because I didn't believe in it either in the beginning. And then also I've told people before, do a Shakeology challenge yourself and go 30 days. Don't miss a single day. Drink it every single day and then go a week without it and see how you feel. See the changes. And I didn't have like a lot of health changes from Shakeology, but I felt different. I notice when I don't drink Shakeology. So yeah, I just feel like any of you that are getting cost objections, that actually has nothing to do with the people that you're talking to. It has everything to do with the way that you're presenting it and the way you're talking about it and your lack of confidence in, even if you have confidence in our product, if you have lack of confidence in your ability to present the product, people will feel that too. $160 is a lot of money, and that's what we're asking them to pay. And because Shakeology is great, but also we want to get them the full system. So it's $160. That's a lot. It's a big investment for a lot of people. A lot of people cannot afford it. And they can't afford, they have to like figure out a way to make it happen. So you have to have confidence in your ability to help them in what they're getting. And that is a steal. Like $106 is a lot of money, but for what they get, that's like why Emily said when she laid out in her sneak peek what you get for the cost, nobody has an objection to it because it's insane the value that we give them. So you have to have belief in that as well. Okay, so we got to wrap this up here. I think, Lauren, maybe you were asking that question about where you can find more information on Shakeology at the same time I was asking it, but I would say the Shakeology podcast and YouTube are the places that I learned about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I think for this call. So hopefully you're inspired to at least go live more, start talking about your story, start owning your story with Beachbody, getting comfortable with sharing it, and then you can layer on more about the coaching piece and what we do and whatever. And those of you who have been in this business for a little while, you should absolutely be running sneak peeks. You will never feel ready unless you start doing it. That's the same for anything. You will never feel ready to invite or run your first challenge group until you start doing it. You will never feel ready to post your transformation until you post your transformation. You will never feel ready to invite people to be a coach on your team until you start asking people to be a coach. Like, you won't feel ready to do anything that fear is blocking you from right now until you start doing it. So, but just know, Emily, remember, was at 0 on Success Club, or at Success Club 0 on the 18th or whatever, and ended at 50 something, and enrolled 19 coaches this month when I actually didn't get your exact number, but what was it, 26 or something in 2016?
Yeah, 29.
She enrolled 5 less coaches in 1 month than she did in 30 days. She enrolled 5 less coaches than in 365 days. Like, just by doing shit, just by deciding to make it happen and tweaking it and, playing around and
failing a couple times.
and being selfless with your time, because that is a big time commitment to go live every day, to post multiple times a day. But the ROI on that is huge, because if you were to chunk out like how much time you actually spent versus 19 people's purchases at $50 per thing times with your signing bonus, not to mention the volume, you're like that, your ROI on that is a good, like, that's worth your investment. That's good. Mm-hmm. It's a good, and one of those coaches minimum could go elite, which then that's like crazy. So like, just spend the time, guys. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much, Emily. That was awesome. And thanks, Brianne, for sharing too. And I've recorded it so you guys can, I'll end this, I'll post it in the team page, you can go back and watch it. But thank you so much.